Crack Academy. Today, we are going to start with the new topic, Preamble. In the introduction class and the first two sessions, already we discussed about the various concepts related to Indian polity and the constitution. And apart from that, the next session, we immediately started with an idea of the making of Indian constitution aligned with the salient features of the Indian constitution. This is the way so far we had done it in the past two classes. Now in the third session, we are going to start something in the name of preamble rather than going for article 1. The original plan was to take article 1 only. But now I am having a plan that before going to start the Indian constitution, you need to learn something about preamble. Because preamble is not part of the constitution originally. Okay. But the Supreme Court of India gave the verdict that preamble is also part of the constitution and preamble is also giving some kind of meaning to the Indian constitution at the time of interpretation. So whenever someone who want to learn about Indian constitution, they want to know what is there in the Indian constitution after certain years, for example, not immediately, after certain years, when someone want to know about constitution, then definitely there should be a person who can able to interpret, who can able to explain that constitution. If I am having some doubt about article 13, article 18, article 32nd or something like that, at the time of the commencement of the constitution, I can call Mr. Ambedkar or Rajaji or Mr. Rajendra Prasad and the steering committee members like so and so, I including Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. But after 50s and after 60s, after 80s and after 2000 and after 2030, 40, 50, no one. So when I have some kind of doubt regarding the proceedings inside the Indian polity and constitution, very particularly about the constitution, then the Supreme Court is clearly saying that the preamble can able to act like a searchlight. Not only the Supreme Court of India, so many people inside the political scenario, the political system at the various levels, the various countries, keep on saying that preamble is a kind of idea which can able to help people to see what is there inside a dark room, like it can able to act like a searchlight, torchlight. And if I want to open something, then definitely I need a key to open a room, to open a locker, to see what is there inside. And when I want to open a constitution, when I want to learn about the constitution, before going to start, we need to learn, we need to understand about what is preamble. You can able to see from here, the preamble is an idea is coming. We the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens in the name of justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. On the basis of that, they want to maintain the unity and integrity of the nation. And apart from this, this is an idea the Constitutional Assembly on its 26th day, November 1949 enacted in order to make this idea as the most important thing inside the Indian. That is a necessary point. You can able to see the preamble in a clear manner. It starts with the we the people of India. So now the question is that preamble is not part of the Indian constitution originally, but there was a debate and discussion that whether preamble is part of the constitution or not. And on the basis of the various cases, and finally the Supreme Court of India also gave different opinion in different cases, and finally they have accepted that preamble is also part of the constitution. It is an inseparable part of the constitution. It can able to help people to understand about constitution. It can act like a prism to see what is clearly, something like that. So that is the way we will say preamble is considered as a key to the Indian constitution. It can able to act like a searchlight in dark place, like that man. So when we are moving further, well, we are going to discuss about the idea of preamble in a simple manner. We can able to say that. I already told there are a lot of things our founding fathers at the beginning mention about the Indian constitution. For example, whenever we are talking about article 32 of the Indian constitution, the constitutional remedies. Through these remedies, A person can able to approach the court, and the court can also able to give direction to the government and individuals, public servant and individuals, with the help of the writ jurisdictions. So generally people will say that that is the heart and soul of Indian Constitution, Article 32. But in the modern time, the way how the interpretation happened over the period of time, at various level, in various cases, in various era, on the basis of that, people are considering that preamble is also considered as the very soul of the Indian Constitution. That is the purpose I told you at the beginning, that whenever I want to learn about what is there inside the Constitution, it can able to give a proper guidelines. It can able to help me to see very clearly what is there inside the Constitution. What kind of meaning the Constitution wants. What exactly the Constitution wants to say. So those kind of ideas can able to only enshrine in our mind with the help of understanding preamble. So it starts like we the people of India. I already told you, a democratic country may have a written constitution or unwritten constitution, but constitution is necessary for them for being a democratic. Because even a dictatorial form of government also can have a constitution or without constitution, but there is no meaning that a dictatorial form of government is having a constitution. Anyhow, there is a dictatorial form of government only. They are going to dictate to the people. They are not going to listen from the people. They are not going to get feedback from the people. But in India kind of country, a democratic country is not in that manner. India is having own republican methods, democratical ethos and values. On the basis of that, we can able to say that we the people of India is a real power, and we through us the constitution can able to derive its power, and people can also able to get their power through the constitution, and vice versa, both things will be happen. So when I am explaining this idea of preamble, for example, the key word, this is the first one, we the people of India, sovereign. The sovereign is the most important thing, and apart from that, some more ideas like the socialistic, we the people of India, and etc. etc. I am going to explain one after another. For example, you can able to see this diagram. So till the end, on the basis of that, we can able to come for the conclusion how the way the preamble is the most important one, and how the way the preamble is going to give some kind of meaning to the constitution. So at the beginning, we started the preamble like this manner, we the people of India. So when I am looking into this, for example, we the people, we are the one who is having ultimate authority. Without us, there is no meaning of constitution, or there is no meaning of country, or etc. etc. People are the base. Without people, you can't able to make anything. So in this manner, when I am looking into the preamble, starts with an idea of we the people, and on the basis of that, we, our people, are also using a democratical mean and democratical method. But when I am talking about the democracy, we cannot able to follow the idea of direct democracy. So instead of direct democracy, we are going for the indirect methods. Because in direct democracy, direct representation of people will be there. It may be good for a small country with a limited population. When the population goes heavy and the country's geographical land also going wider, then definitely you cannot able to hold your idea, your ideas with the help of the concept like democratical or non-democratical methods. So what is the necessary idea? In democratical country, they may have a direct democracy and indirect democracy. But whenever we are going to discuss about the direct democracy, like Switzerland is the best example. People can able to represent themselves directly. So that was the reason, and that is the reason, and that will be the reason people will call Swiss as a country who is having people's participation directly in governance. But a big and wide country like India, unity and diversity in her nature. So on the basis of this unity and diversity, the word coined by Jawaharlal Nehru, already we discussed in previous classes. You can't able to make people directly to participate in governance. So on behalf of us, our representatives can able to go inside Legislative Assembly and the Parliament of India, on the basis of that idea, the people can able to do well in an indirect manner by the way of sending their representatives inside the parliament or assembly on behalf of us. They will ask, they will fight, they will make laws, they will implement those things for the benefit of good governance inside a country to enforce the ideas of democratical values and ethos as a part of a republican form of government. So whenever we are discussing these ideas, we the people of India, so this is the most important. The Indian constitution has been drawn up and enacted by the people through their representative work, not directly by the people. And the governing of people also not directly. So our representative. But still, the representatives inside the parliament, like 552 originally and 550 after that, and 545 approximately, we usually have inside our Lok Sabha in the name of Member of Parliament. And in Rajya Sabha, another 250 permanent. It is a permanent body, and number is also fixed to 250. And the states will have the representation approximately 238, and 12 members will be there as a nominated members inside. So like this manner, our representatives are there on behalf of us. They are helping government, they are helping people to enact laws. So through this idea, it is very clearly mentioned that, so based on that idea, we can able to say that we the people of India can able to do something on the basis of that, the something can able to give some power to the people. So preamble is also clearly saying that we the people of India is really having a sovereignty by the way of making constitution, and constitution derives our authority, its authority from people, and people are also deriving their power from the constitution. Then when I am moving further, the way how we the people are having the supremacy. The supremacy is an ideology on the basis of the principles of sovereignty. The sovereign is the most important principle. The way how people can able to discuss sovereignty, for example, the moment you are talking about the vocabulary sovereign, sovereign means supreme. There should not be any kind of external force. Any kind of external force which is going to dominate you. So it should be always on the basis of your own freedom, choice, everything on your own, rather than dictated by someone else, forced by someone else to do it. So you are sovereign to make decisions. You are independent to make decision. You are supreme to make decision. So in this manner, when I am looking into this, the people have the supreme right to make decision. That is the most important thing on internal as well as external matters of India. Their own countries, their states. That is why we are saying that people are sovereign. The country is also sovereign country. Because the sovereignty is an idea is giving complete freedom to the people to select their choices according to their own need and desire and want, rather than a compulsion which is coming from outside, a force which is forcing them outside to make some kind of decision. You are not a sovereign person if someone is forcing you to take some decision. If you are completely free, you can able to. So that is an idea. There is no supreme. You are having a complete authority to make decision in terms of internal as well as external. And when I am looking into the sovereignty, no external power can able to dictate the government of India. That is the second important idea. No external power can able to dictate. USA, India, the relation may go in a bilateral manner, in a parallel manner, in a reciprocity as well as the responsibility manner, rather than dominating. So if it is dominating, so a country like India definitely won't have the sovereignty. India is a sovereign country. India is a democratic country. It's giving ultimate importance to her sovereignty. So it never yielded its power to any country. It never won under the suppression of any country after 1947, externally as well as internally. In order to maintain relationship, we may do some kind of adjustment. That adjustment in terms of national interest, don't come confused with that idea. for that adjustment we are doing for the country's interest for making foreign policy. That time India may yielded with Russia or America or some other bloc, but in practicality till that time it is up to her to select whether you want to join with America or Russians, something like that. The sovereignty Indians are having, Indian government is having. No one can able to force Indian government to take some kind of decision by force. Then when I am moving further, so now this is an idea, the preamble starts like that, the we the people, we all the people, and along with us the government is also having the sovereignty, the country is also having the sovereignty. Country is not single commodity, country is a collection of people only, people are living, so we respect need to give to people as well as the government, both are having that supremacy to take decision on their own choices rather than compulsion from outside. In a simple manner we can able to explain. And when I am moving to the next level, we the people of India is having the sovereignty and also the socialistic manner. That is a very necessary point. At the beginning of India's independence, there was a confusion that in what policy the government is going to make. Whether we can align with the capitalistic America or we can go with the socialistic Russia, communistic Russia. But India decided not to mingle with both the people. We neither want to go for capitalistic idea nor want to go for communistic idea. India selected her own method on the basis of the mixture of the communism as well as capitalism in the name of India's own way of socialism. It is unique in nature. You can't able to compare Indian socialistic pattern with the Russian socialistic pattern, Cuban socialistic pattern, Chinese socialistic pattern. India is having its own socialistic pattern. On the basis of this idea, we can able to simply say that the wealth, individual as well as government, wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by the society. Is a common idea as a principle of socialism. Wealth is generated socially. The society can able to generate, the people can able to generate, and it should be equally shared with the people also as per their need. That is an idea of socialism. But in most important thing, the government should also regulate the ownership of land and industry in order to reduce the idea of socio-economic inequality. That is a second necessary point. When we are discussing about the concept of socialist, the socialism is a kind of idea in Russia. When you are going to discuss about the socialism, everything belongs to the state only. There is no individual property, there is no individual ownership or something like that. Ultimate socialism with the support of communism is happening inside Russia. At least happened inside Russia before 1980. But when I'm talking about the Indian socialism, this is an idea the society can able to, the wealth is the most important thing generated by the society and it should be equally shared among themselves. Okay, well and good. And another most important thing, the ownership of land is properly regulated with the support of government in order to maintain the socio-economic equality. We are not banning, we are not restricting the ownership of land. We are only channelizing the ownership of land. That is a speciality and differentiation we can able to calculate when I am comparing Indian socialism with Western socialism, Russian socialism. Because there the land is completely prohibited for individuals. Everything belongs to the state only. State will take care of the need of individual, the ultimate socialism. But in India, the regulation will be done by the government to regulate the affairs of land and land related issue in order to bring the social equality and economic equality. That is an idea generally people will give inside the country like India. And another most important thing here, as an updation part, the preamble at the time of 1950s gave meaning to the Indian people and Indian government like this. But when I am going to the modernity, the things after 1990s, so the way how the idea of socialism before 1990s and after 1990s. We have to divide the entire idea into two ways, before and after. Socialism, socialistic pattern, before and after. And it was before 1990s what I discussed exactly, that you can able to see the wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by the society. At the same time, the government's need and government's role, government's duty to regulate the ownership of land, and they try to do something in order to reduce the inequality inside the society in terms of social as well as economic parameters. But in the modern times, after 1990s, but in modern times, when I'm looking into this idea, these are all before what I discussed so far. And after 1990s, the situation was completely changed. India is no longer a socialist country. Our Indian government cannot able to propagate the socialism openly because we are having some kind of limitation after 1990s. By the way, the government of India accepted the principle of liberalization, privatization, globalization under the hegemony of a capitalistic America on one side and the World Trade Organization on other side. And exactly in 1994 and 1995, India became the founding member of World Trade Organization. And the World Trade Organization is encouraging the idea of liberalized, privatized, globalized world. So your idea of socialism is no longer valid. The international community can able to put a pressure upon the Indian government that you have to reduce your activity, allow private people to do, and the private people means individual ownership, and private people comes means there should be an idea that you have to liberalize your restrictions from the government side upon land, upon resources, upon everything, and everything should be come under the process of globalization, that your country belongs to them and their country belongs to you in terms of economic parameters, open market concept. So before the open market concept, the situation as per the preamble was okay, well and good. Socialism, socialistic pattern, India practiced. But after 1990s, the 1991, India accepted the principles of LPG era. And after that, India accepted the idea of WTO on the basis of Uruguay route in 1994 and 1995, the World Trade Organization, the so-called World Trade Organization, to create a free trade area in the entire world through the free trade agreements. They want to go for a free trade area. That free trade area is a principle, is against the idea of socialism. In socialism, it is the duty of the government to regulate the social and economic inequality, and they can also taking care of the land related issues upon the people. But when I'm looking into the idea of socialism after 1990s, state cannot be able to do certain things because it is a liberalized, it is a privatized, it is a globalized. One person can able to develop its wealth. A rich become richer and richer become richest, poor become poorer and poorest. Now the gap is keep on widening since 1990s. That is why nowadays a lot of billionaires are there inside in our country in the top 10 world list. But in terms of poverty and hunger, India is also even worse than so many Asian, South Asian countries. Even like Pakistan is better than India. Like this manner reports are coming. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and Nepal are better than India. Then India is in terms of hunger index and all doing worst because we slowly and steadily we accepted the idea of capitalistic idea of liberalized, privatized, globalized world. Here individual properties only, individualism only will gain its popularity rather than a socialistic idea. Because it was the compulsion after 1990s. Before 1990s, the preamble is a core idea. How the changes happened? Because before 1990s, the government were simply to taking care of welfare and well-being. That is an objective of Indian Constitution. Before 1990s, the role and objective of the government to taking care of the objective of the Constitution. An objective of the Constitution is clearly saying welfare and well-being need to be taken care of. And the government also become a welfare-based government, not freebie-based government. There are a lot of difference between welfare and freebies. This is the most important thing you need to understand. The welfare of the people and well-being of the people. That is the most important thing. Well-being and welfare. Well-being and welfare totally different from freebies. So this is another important ideas nowadays coming into. Lot of questions and controversies also coming into. So there may be a question, maybe for the next 2, 3, 4 years, anytime any question may come regarding this one. The government main objective to taking care of welfare and well-being. There is a lot of difference between welfare and freebies. So don't get confused with this idea. It was a welfare-based government at the time of 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And after 1990s, state started withdrawing from its activity. It was a socialistic government, socialistic state before 1990s, and after 90s, the role and activities of the government went down, and in their shoe, the private players entered into the gap filling area done by the private rather than the government. Government started withdrawing, private started occupying, so private role became more. Private means individualism. That is an idea against our preamble, but still that is a need of the hour. The world is going from the idea of bipolarity between capitalism versus communism since 1945 to till 1990s. But after 1990s, the bipolarity has gone after the disintegration of Soviet Russia. So the disintegration of Soviet Russia came, and that was the end of Soviet Russia, and no more bipolarity, only unipolarity. USA, capitalism became the dominant force. So a country like India also adopted herself to the changing nature of the world. As per this idea only, India accepted the concept of liberalization, privatization, globalization, and based on this purpose only, based on this idea only, India slightly modified her principles also in terms of socialism in order to give importance to liberalized, privatized, globalized world. It's a simple concept. You have to elaborate. In mains examination, they may ask these kind of questions nowadays. Then when I am moving further, there is another important thing. It is not only a socialist country, it is a secular country. The secularism is the most important dimension. You can able to see the citizens have complete freedom to follow any religion as per their need, and hence there is no official religion inside our country. Before 2008, if I can able to see the Himalayan kingdom like Nepal, there was the only Hindu monarch in this world, only Hindu country in this world. Then they accepted the secular constitution. Now they are also saying that the secular constitution, not a Hindu region, not a Hindu country. Like that, from the beginning of independence itself, India is saying that we are having, there is no official religion, the government will take care of every religion equally. So that is the most important idea when I am talking about the principles of secularism. And government treats all religious beliefs and practices with the equal respect. That is another important thing. So on the basis of this idea, one is that the citizens are allowed to practice and propagate their own religion as per their need and choices. On the other side, the state will also treat everyone equally. One side, you are having freedom to select your religion. Other side, the state won't treat anyone in different manner. The state will treat everyone in an equal manner. So in this particular background, when you are looking into this idea, the very most important thing, the secularism, when I am comparing with the Western ideas with the Indian ideas, the secularism is a principle generally very popular inside the European countries. The way how you people studied about your world history, the Holy Cross War, they will say. The interference of church inside the European polity became the dominant one. The conflict between the church and kingdom came into exist. On the basis of that, even after the French Revolution from 1789 onwards, the European powers decided, the France as a country decided to go for a new method. that the secularism, which means separating the state affairs completely from religion. Separating the state affairs completely from the religion is an idea of Western secularism. The state never and ever encourage religion, and state and never and ever tolerate the interference from any religious activities. That is an idea of Western secularism. But when I am seeing the Indian perspectives, it is totally different. In India, we are not ready to separate religion from our state affairs, starting from India's independence, starting from the Nehruvian time, starting from the time of Nehru, Indira, Rajiv, or various other people. So they don't want to separate religion from state affairs. But they simply say that the secularism from the Indian perspective was totally different, because we won't separate religion. We won't separate religion from the affairs of state. We will treat all religion equally. That is a necessary point. We can able to talk about Indian secularism. That is the major difference between Western secularism and Indian secularism. Western secularism completely separate religion from the state affairs. Indian secularism will treat every religion equally, will provide choices to the people as per your need and desire. You can propagate and practice any religion. No doubt for that one. No interference from state side. You are having sovereignty to select your own religion. Simple. The best example I can able to say for this idea, before 2019, that the Indian government will sponsor every religion in an equal manner. For example, if I want to go to Jerusalem or some religious places for Christian community or Jewish community, the government will give some kind of sponsorship. So you will get something and you can put your money, then you can go to Jerusalem to visit those places. And when I am looking into the Muslim people who want to go for Makkah and Medina, the government will give some kind of sponsorship. On the basis of that, people can able to go to Hajj Yatra. Government will give proper sponsorship for Hajj Yatra who are not affordable to do. Then for going Manasarovar Yatra, that is another important thing. For traveling from different places, the Hindu holy places, Manasarovar Yatra or Kailashnath Yatra, the Hindu people can, the poor people can able to get the things from the government in the name of subsidies. So like this, when the government will support everyone equally, there is no partiality that only for minorities, only for majority, the government will treat everyone equally. You can also have ideas like the everlasting flame. The everlasting flame. This is the religious activity of Parsi community. It happened usually inside Paris in order to show the unique character of the Parsi community and culture of the Parsi community. So people from India who usually participate in this everlasting flame, for that the Indian government through its budget itself, they are sponsoring people one side. And there is another idea in the name of Nai Manzil, Nai Rosini. Okay, there the people like minority community or the Muslim community can able to get some kind of benefit from the government to get some kind of certificate from their madrasa based study to go to the colleges, that the government is recognizing them with the help of these kind of Rosini or Manzil schemes. On the basis of that, you can get the certificate for your madrasa education and go to polytechnic and some technical areas with the help of the government sponsorship. So these are some kind of samples. When the question comes in mains, you have to put it in order to substantiate that how the way a unique secularistic nature the Indian country is practicing when I am comparing with the Western secularism. You should not say it is a pseudo secularism, the way how the political opposition will criticize the government, the rightist and leftist government, but as being a student of the UPSC, you have to be in a neutral path, that the way how the government is helping every religion to live happily inside. So India is having a secularistic principle that is totally different from the Western area, that we won't support one religion, we won't have any religion, we will support all religion, treat everyone equally. That is the most important idea you need to give consideration while discussing about the idea of secularism inside our country. Then when I'm moving further, democratic. So this is the most important thing, democratic. The democratic is an idea. The democracy is a form of government where people enjoy equal political rights and elect their rulers and hold them accountable. People are having an ultimate right to elect their rulers. They are the one who is going to decide about who is going to rule the country in 2014, 19, 24, 29 or something like that. And based on this, they are making their political bosses accountable to the people, we the people of India, having the sovereignty. So this is another most important thing. So the accountability process is also properly happening with the help of democratic principle. That was the purpose. Generally, the people like when I'm seeing the idea of democracy with the help of the Abraham Lincoln, and he usually say that democracy means it we usually consider as by the people, for the people, and of the people only. This is the idea of democracy. And I'm saying democracy. Democracy means by the people, democracy is for the people, and democracy of people. This is the old idea. Suppose UPSC is asking critically examine, critically analyze, critically evaluate, then you can also say that democracy 1.0 idea, as per the knowledge and expression of Mr. Lincoln, the most popular leader in this world, by the people, for the people, of the people, when I am going to discuss democracy 2.0, if it is critically examined, then you can write these kind of things, that from by the people, now the things are going buying people, from for the people, the things are going far away from the people, from of the people, the things are going off the people permanently if they ask too much of questions. That is a democracy 2.0 is also happening in this modern world. What it means? Democracy is by the people only, and it is for the people only, and it is a people, democracy of people only. But now the things are there, the voting, freebies and all those things the political leaders are giving on the basis that they try to attract the voters, they try to subsidize their voters based on that they want to continue, they want to change the government. So buying people are happening inside our country, in not only inside a democratical world, is practicing this idea everywhere, not only in India, everywhere, buying people. And once you purchased and you sold your vote, 2000 you got from the political people and selling your vote to them and making them as a ruling party, then what is the connection you and your representatives are having? If it's a people elected representative, they will fight for people. They will stand with the people. But they sold, we the people of India sold our vote for freebies as well as by money, then they will far away from their constituency. They won't come back after winning election, they won't come back to their constituency. Far away from the constituency. And third important thing is that the necessary point is that still you are keep on asking question too much. In the modern democracy, gundas will come to your place. You are keep on asking question through Right to Information Act. Someone will come and kill the people, of the people permanently. That is a 2.0. A democratical idea is also happening. It's a negative aspect of democracy. It happened in some places, not in everywhere. But still, we are trying to practice an idea of democracy means the government is by the people, for the people, and government is for people. This is the way the constitution is also through the preamble idea, a form of government where people enjoy equal political rights and elect their rulers and hold them accountable to themselves. A democratical mean is properly happening inside our country. And when I am going to the next level, the republic, it is a very, very necessary thing. At the beginning of the world, or at the ancient time or medieval time, and during the modern time in recent till 19th and 20th century, we practiced something in the name of monarchy, kingship, kingdom. People all belongs to the kingdom only. People need to serve for the kings only. People need to die for the kings only. Everything belongs to the kings only. So that kind of rule happened once upon a time. Even the British in the old time, the monarch and king became very strong, and British generally will say that the sun never sets inside United Kingdom's empire. This is the way they went and occupied in various places and made them as a colony. So the British monarchy was existing from the time of 1765 to till 1947. Before Mughal Empire, we can able to see the before British, the Mughal dynasty who ruled India. Before Mughal dynasty, the Delhi Sultanate, and before that, here and there, we can able to see some kind of invasions. So a kind of idea, monarchical things happen inside our country, like Indian subcontinent. Even if you can able to refer NCERT's history, you will find that the Vaisali Mahajanpada, one of the best Mahajanpada, Vaisali, also elected their own kings. Elected kingship happened. There was the first republic in this world as per NCERTs. They had a principle of elected rulers. Kings usually elected by the people. When the people are not satisfied with the king, then they will change the king after some time. Elected kingship. But in later part and before and after also, we can able to see that kingship become hereditary. Father after son, son after grandson, great grandson. Like that manner, the dynasty came into existence. The republican form of government you can't able to see anywhere in this world other than Vaisali. Then later part, the Greek, Roman Empire, there we can able to see the democracy in terms of Senate and Congress. There you can able to see the people like Aristotle and Plato. But when I'm looking into the Indian scenario through the Arthashastra, Kaudilya or Chanakya, something like that, the Chanakya is clearly saying that in what way the king can able to rule and how the people need to sacrifice the things for the benefit of kingdom as well as kingship. So in modern time, it became a compulsion that the moment India got independence, India don't want to make someone as a king or kingship or crown or monarch or dynasty. India hated this kind of idea. Our political fathers hated this kind of idea. So the moment we had decided to get independence, or moment we got independence, the country decided to go for a republican form of government. On the basis of that, when first election happened, when constitution came into force in 26th January 1950, India declared herself as a republican country. A people elected president will be there as a head of the country rather than a monarchy, a hereditary crown will be there in the country like UK and Japan or Nepal once upon a time, and Bhutan once upon a time. India don't want to go like that. India want to go for a people elected head. That is a republican form of government came into. The head of the state is an elected person and not a hereditary push. That is an idea generally people will talk about in republic. Even though after India got independent, there was some kind of invitation came from England that India can also accept a queen. Even though it got independent, India can able to accept a queen and crown and be a part of the Commonwealth members like Australia and New Zealand. Still, they will accept a queen as their head, and for the namesake, the queen will appoint the Governor General for New Zealand. Still, the traditions are existing. But India don't want to. India completely dissociate themselves. India, being a member of Commonwealth countries, India decided to go for a republican method, that people elected head as a country head in the name of President of India is an idea came into exist inside our country. Then when I am moving further, the concept, these are the core important ideas: justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. When I am talking about the justice as a principle, the citizens cannot be discriminated on the grounds of caste, religion and gender. These are the three important things: caste, religion and gender. Social justice, that is the most important thing in terms of caste and religions, and gender justice, like this manner. Then the government should work for the welfare of all, especially the disadvantaged section. One is that the things are very clear that citizens should not be discriminated on the sense of religion, race, caste and gender, and some more things also in later part of the Indian constitution, the place of birth and etc., residency and etc., domicile and etc. So these things, the citizens should not be discriminated. They should have an equal right in terms of the place where they born. You may be a northeastern community, you may be a northwestern, you may be a southern part of India, you may be a central part of India, but we all are Indian. In this manner only, the government need to treat people in a very benevolent manner. Justice is the most important idea. The political and economic and social justice, India tried to get it from the United States of Soviet Russia once upon a time. And another most important thing, the government need to work continuously in order to achieve the welfare of the people. Especially the government need to work continuously in order to achieve the disadvantaged and weaker section of the society. The justice is that we want to give everything to equally. We want to treat them everyone equally, but at the same time, some people are not equal, so we want to lift them into an equality. On the basis of that, the disadvantaged section will get some kind of reservation, some kind of benefit from the government. For example, in India, through the constitution, whenever I am seeing disadvantaged section, we will see in other way the weaker section of the society. So the moment we are talking about weaker section, it is not on the basis of caste alone. The weaker section means we will say that the scheduled tribes, scheduled caste, and apart from this, women also a weaker section inside, children also a weaker section inside, the senior citizens and elderly people also the weaker section inside, and finally, as per the constitution, that the disabled people, the physically challenged people, all these people are coming into the category of the disabled or disadvantaged and weaker section of the society. For their benefit, for their emancipation, the government need to do certain things. On the basis of that, they will achieve the justice, economic, political and social justice inside our country with the help of the objectives of Preamble of the Indian Constitution. And when you're moving further, another important thing, if your societies are very good and well and good, then definitely that society is having an ultimate idea of providing liberty to the people. For example, when we can able to see the barbarians, they never allowed women to speak. Women is for only childbearing only, nothing more than that. Women are not allowed. Once upon a time, you can just see the Taliban inside Afghanistan. The moment they came and captured around 96 to 2001, they banished all the women education, children's, lot of prohibition. Women should cover them from top to toe completely. Some kind of barbarianism usually happened in the ancient and medieval time, not in modern times. A religious fundamentalism is an idea came into exist. On the basis of that, they completely disown the right of women and women children inside Afghanistan or some other part of Africa. But an important thing is that when a society is a liberalized one, a well-civilized society always will practice an idea of liberty, and a kind of country like India is also having a very old ancient culture, because whenever I am seeing the Sumerian culture or Egyptian culture, Mesopotamian or other various culture in this world, we will also say that the Indus Valley civilization or Indian culture is also as much old as with the Sumerian and Egyptian and other various things. We are not a modern people. We are practicing modernity, but our civilizations are very old. So always giving importance to every gender, giving right to every gender, and want to enforce an idea of liberty equally. That is another most important thing. There are no unreasonable restrictions on the citizens in what they think, how they wish to express their thought, and way they wish to follow up their thoughts in action. Simple example I can able to say. How the liberalized society inside our country at present. Some years before, I think 5-6 years before, the court also gave a new ideology that the LGBT, the way how the civilization moved in a next direction, a liberty is given to every people. Now the transgender is permitted as an others. It was male and female or male and female. This is the way generally the reservation will happen. Nowadays, they are keeping something in the name of transgender will they come under category of T or others. Even they will get the OBC reservation inside government. One side, liberty, the liberty of thought and feel and expression and action. Even the LGBT community, lesbian, gay, and other various things also there. And now these people can also have their own right. Once upon a time, these kind of things happen only in American society around 80s and 90s. But now the Indian society is also achieved a kind of status. On the basis of that, India want to enforce the idea of liberty upon its people, and people also having the freedom of speech and expression, and based on that, their kind of unrestricted ideologies are existing inside our society to practice and propagate their own things inside our country on the basis of the principles of liberty. Because when I'm seeing the idea of freedom and liberty, the most important thing, freedom and liberty, you can able to feel the concept of freedom completely. But you can't able to feel the concept of liberty. Liberty is a sense of feeling. And freedom is a kind of things you are going to get it. And you won't get liberty. Freedom we can able to say, I am having every freedom to do whatever I want to do inside my country. I can able to travel from Kashmir to Kanyakumari with the reasonable restrictions. I can able to do any kind of business. It is my freedom, freedom of rights as per Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. But when I am looking into the idea of liberty, it is a preamble concept, not properly enforced inside our fundamental rights. But liberty is an idea, is a kind of feeling only happening inside. The feeling, on the basis of that, there is no unreasonable restriction on the citizens in what they think. That is the most important thing. This is thinking. You can have the feeling, but you can't able to show in action. And they wish to express their thought, and the way they wish to follow up their thoughts in action, when it is going to convert it into an action. For example, LGBT, once upon a time it was a taboo inside our country, and people will put strictly against those kind of LGBT things. It is a psychological aberration, people will say that. Now people realize that it is not in human nature or the unnatural things, it is a psychological issues people are having. So on the basis of that, the same-sex marriage also accepted by the court nowadays in a legal manner in order to enforce the idea of liberty on Indian people and Indian citizens. So best example we can able to say. In negative sense, there is a lot of positive things also in the name of liberty, the ideas and thought process in terms of women. For example, even nowadays, the male and female cricketers are getting equal salary to achieve the idea of gender justice. So this is the kind of idea, such a long time the feminist movements are keep on asking to achieve the liberty process of women empowerment. Women should need to achieve certain things. Liberty should be properly given to women, not only in terms of thought process, but when thought converted into action, that should be also properly protected by the government. Now the government is also trying to achieve, you can able to have the MGNREGA, there male will get 100, female will get 80 once upon a time. Now direct benefit transfer schemes, now both male and female will get equal salary. Then other than that, when I am moving to the next level, the equality and fraternity. We know very well that all the people inside our society, all are equal before the law, and the traditional social inequality should be ended. Everyone should be treated in an equal manner. And there is an impartiality, inequality on the basis of the society of Indian civilizations also happening, some kind of caste as well as religious as well as racial inequalities are happening, and even gender inequalities are happening. That should be practically, legally need to finish. And other than that, the government should also ensure that equal opportunity for all. Once upon a time, no one will give employment to transgender. Generally, we are having some kind of reservation towards transgenders. But nowadays, you can able to see in newspaper, first transgender judge, first transgender police officer, first transgender in military, etc., etc. is also coming, not in military, police as well as judicial, and we can have other most examples. And these are some kind of things we can able to talk about the idea of the equal opportunity for all, not only for male and female, even transgender, not only for upper caste or lower caste, everyone, not only for this race or that race, not only for this religion or minority religion. It is not like that. Everyone will have the equal opportunity. Everyone before the law, all need to be treated equally. The traditional mindset that someone will be above the law and someone will be below the law should be properly removed from the Indian society. That is the most important idea the preamble is also giving to Indian people. Then when I am moving further, the concept like fraternity, this is the most important thing. Legally, we can able to talk about the socialistic and secularistic and democratic and republic and justice, fraternity, equality and other various things. But the very most necessary idea is that people should respect everyone in an equal manner. The idea of universal brotherhood. All Indians are brothers and sisters as per the idea of Swami Vivekananda. You have to treat every Indians as brothers and sisters. Among the brothers and sisters, there is no difference like you are upper and I am lower, and you are rich and I am poor, and you are gender and I am transgender or something like that. There is no disparity. All should be treated equally. That is an idea of even Swami Vivekananda, who always said that you have to treat every fellow citizen as a brothers and sisters. That means not brothers and sisters in physical nature. That means the universal brotherhood need to be achieved. You can able to go to Aravinda ashram. There, the universal brotherhood also happening inside Puducherry, Auroville. So the French society is an idea, is promoting the idea of equality, liberty and fraternity by the way treating everyone equally. So some kind of universal brotherhood. On the basis of that, it is a global common, it is a global village, the world is, earth is a global village. We all are living in a unified manner like brothers and sisters. On the basis of that, the peace and tranquility need to be enforced inside a society. Based on that peace and tranquility, you can have a prosperous society. On the basis of this idea only, the preamble is also stacking something. On the basis of, we can able to come for the idea that we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice in terms of social, economic, political, liberty of thoughts and expression, belief and faith and worship, and equality of status and opportunity, and fraternity and other all the things in the not achieve the idea of unity and integrity of the nation. Based on that, we want to enforce the idea of unity and integrity of the nation. That is the most eligible thing we need to achieve inside our country through the preamble. Once you have understand about the entire idea in the name of preamble, now it is very easy for you to learn about what is constitution. What is the constitutional schemes and programs are keep on saying inside fundamental rights, inside directives, inside parliamentary proceedings or Panchayati Raj or some more various schemes and programs. There you can able to get the clear understanding about the schemes and program of the Indian Constitution with the understanding of this preamble. Through the preamble only. That is why the founding fathers keep on saying this is the key to the Indian Constitution, even though it is not part of the originally part of the. And it is a cornerstone of Indian Constitution. It is a searchlight in a dark place. Dark, you have to see something with the help of light. A preamble will say that through the preamble, Constitution is a dark place. So with the help of the torchlight preamble, you can able to see what is there inside Constitution. With the idea of equality, fraternity, liberty and justice. That is the other most important thing. Based on that, they want to maintain the concept of unity in integrity of the nation, and that is a necessary point, and the preamble came into force inside our Indian Constitution exactly around 1949, 26th November. The India enacted preamble also along with the Indian Constitution. Okay, good. But now and then there will be some kind of confusion will also appear here and there. This is also another important thing. Whenever we are discussing about the idea of preamble, for example, in Beribari Union case, it happened in 1960s, and the Supreme Court said very clearly, preambles is a general purpose and there are certain things that are behind the preamble, and this is also a very clear understanding that if I want to know about the constitution, it can able to act like a key. On the basis of that only you can able to understand about the constitution with the knowledge of preamble. But while doing so, the Supreme Court also clearly mentioned that in Berbari Union case, this much of positiveness they told about preamble, that okay, this is good, it is key, you can able to understand the mindset of the founding fathers with the help of this preamble and etc etc. But they clearly said that in Berbari Union case in 1960, and it is not part of the Indian constitution. But later part during 1973 in this Keshavananda Bharati case, it's the most popular case. You will learn about fundamental right and other various issues, DPSP, etc., etc., even Indian constitution and preamble part with the help of Kesavananda Bharati case. And this Kesavananda Bharati case, the Supreme Court reversed their own idea when they gave in 1960s in Berbari Union case, and they clearly said that it is clearly now after Kesavananda Bharati case 1973, preamble is going to be the part of the Indian constitution. Even after later in LIC case in 1995 also, Supreme Court reiterated that preamble is a most important part of the Indian constitution, and it is part of the Indian constitution. So with the help of the preamble, people can able to understand the things in a very clear manner. People can able to analyze the process inside in a very clear manner with the searchlight preamble is going to. So it can able to act like a conscience of the Indian constitution. It can also able to act like a soul of the Indian constitution. Through the preamble, we can easily identify the mindset of the makers of the Indian constitution, on what basis these people wrote these and that things, etc., etc., can be done only with the help of the concept of preamble. Fine. Thank you.